crown of the head is up with the eyes looking down to put the dura mater under tension. We have maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex to the level of the coronal plane, and press up toward the sky. And while we're resting, let's continue with our exercise demonstration for exercises to help with spinal decompression. And now I'm going to be demonstrating the L3-L4 ELDOA. The purpose of this exercise is to create space between the L3-L4 vertebra. If you have any type of compression at the L3 nerve root, this can affect your knee extension. And at the L4 nerve root, if there's compression, it can affect your ankle dorsiflexion. With regard to the nerve plexus that's most likely going to be affected, it's going to be the lumbar plexus. And the nerves that are most likely going to be affected at both L3 and L4, it's going to be the femoral obturator and the saphenous nerve. The nerves that can be compressed at L3 are also going to be the medial, intermediate, and lateral nerves of the thigh. And at L4, if there is compression, that can be the sciatic nerve, the tibial nerve, the common, superficial, and deep peroneal nerves, as well as the lateral cutaneous nerves of the lower leg or the calf, and the medial plantar nerve. This can manifest as weakness in your psoas, your quadriceps, your anterior tibialis, your extensor hallucis or toe extension, and you can experience pain or paresthesia in the knee, the anterior lower leg, or the medial thigh, knee, calf, and ankle. If you're experiencing any of those symptoms, go ahead and give the L3-L4 ELDOA a try. This is another one of those bilateral exercises, meaning we are going to be performing it just once. And with regard to the exercise, we're going to be in a seated position. What we want to do is we are going to go into sitting on our ischial tuberosities or our sit bones where our hamstrings attach. With the knees, we want to flex the knees to 90 degrees. And then we want to go into lateral rotation of the hips. At the ankles, we're going into dorsiflexion by pointing the toes up toward our head, eversion by pointing the soles of our feet outward, and we want the heels almost touching, enough that you could slide a piece of paper between them. From this position over here, at the pelvis, we want to maintain retroversion of the pelvis or a posterior pelvic tilt. We want a flat lumbar spine, a flat thoracic spine, retropulsion of the cervical spine. The crown of the head is pushing up with the eyes looking down. Coccyx is pressing down into the floor. And then with the arms, what we want to do is maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation, flex the shoulders to the level of the frontal or coronal plane, and press your palms up toward the sky. So just to recap, we have flexion of the knees to 90 degrees. We are going to go into dorsiflexion, eversion, drive those knees toward the ground, and the heels are almost touching. We have the pelvis, we got retroversion of the pelvis or a posterior pelvic tilt. The coccyx is pressing down into the ground. Knees are also pressing down into the ground. We have a flat lumbar, flat thoracic, retropulsion of the cervical spine. Crown of the head is up with the eyes looking down to put the dura mater under tension. We have maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex to the level of the coronal plane, and press up toward the sky. We're going to hold that for 1 minute, and then after 1 minute, we can slowly come on out of it, and that is how we would perform the L3-L4 ELDOA. If you are experiencing any type of neurological symptoms or any type of either weakness, pain, or paresthesia in any of the areas that I mentioned, go ahead and give the L3-L4 ELDOA a try. During the next rest period, I'm going to be demonstrating the L4-L5 ELDOA, but for right now, our rest period is up. It is time for set number 6. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.